Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
Karen, what is this episode going to be about?
We're going to talk about Bullet For My Valentine here in Chicago.
Right, with Vended and Of Mice and Men opening for them. This is part of their North America 2023 tour.
I love that. How many of those have we had this year?
There's a lot of just tour names of North America.
North America.
Right, and then the year. Whatever, it is what it is.
It is, yeah.
You're creative people, come up with better names. Come on. You have a new album, you have a song, whatever. Just do something better, please. Tickets for this were $40 each, with $16.07 in fees, and then $5.67 in tax. Of course, some of those fees were for physical tickets because we did opt for the physical ticket option at will call. And we didn't mention this was at the Riviera Theater here in Chicago.
Right next door to last week's episode. Aragon.
Yeah, right there next to Aragon.
Yeah.
Really cool area, really cool old theaters. This definitely being one of those old theaters.
Yeah.
We got there, we went in, and like I said, we had our tickets at will call. Might stop doing that.
Yeah, I don't understand what the problem is because once we get up to will call, it's easy, but I feel like other people have lots of problems.
This time and the previous show we went to here, can't remember what. Corey Taylor. We got physical tickets at will call. Both times there were people in front of us and in the line for will call, and it's the same guy who was working, just the only guy in this like old school ticket cage.
Do you think he's the only person that can fit in there because it's so small?
It's very small. I don't know, but he's in there by himself with a small little computer, and every time we've gone there, we get in the back of the line and we just stand there, and he's just sitting there poking away at the computer, like typing away and scrolling, like not saying anything to anyone. The person is standing outside the cage waiting for him. And then eventually he turns around and like tells them something and they step aside and they start looking at their phone. And then the next person goes up. Yep, I bought my tickets on the app or whatever. Here's my name. He just pulls up a sheet and like, oh, here's your tickets. And that's all we do. We just give them our name. Here's your tickets. So I don't know what the holdup is, but the last two times the first person when we get in line is they're struggling to find their tickets. I don't know if they don't have like a confirmation number up or they can't give them the confirmation number or what. I don't know. It's not a pain. Like we get there early enough where we can get in, but it's like, come on, you know how this works, guys. Let's have our confirmation number up. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but we don't even have to give a confirmation number. We just give them our name, so I don't understand what the whole situation is.
It's that way every time you go anywhere, even like if you go to a movie or if you go to an airport and it's like have your badges out or your tickets to scan to get into the event, and people are like, oh shit, you need tickets? Hold on, let me find it. Like, I don't understand how that's a hard concept for some people, and I don't know. Maybe it's your first time ever going to an event, but that little hole up and like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we don't need the physical tickets. Plus, this is AXS, and their tickets are these massive fucking printed out half sheets of paper, basically.
Yeah.
Tickets.
I mean, it's cool to have them. We have a lot of ticket stubs, and we used to have them behind us until the sun started fading them, so we moved them. But it's almost like, are we gonna keep displaying those? I don't know. It's cool to have though.
It's definitely cool to have. I like having the physical ticket. I just don't like these AXS ones that are like these fucking flashcards.
Yeah.
But we showed up early for this show too. Not super early, but we wanted to get there early-ish because the previous night we were at the Aragon, and the line to get in was long. Like everybody must have just shown up right at doors or something, but we didn't want to have that same thing because Vended was the first band and we liked Vended.
Yeah,
we wanted to see Vended.
We wanted to see them, yeah.
So we show up early just to make sure we have plenty of time. Doors were 5, show was listed for 6:30.
6:30. And the marquee said 6:30.
And the marquee
online said 6:30. Right. Everything said 6:30.
So we got there a little after 5 because we stopped and got McDonald's.
Yeah, you were going to say dinner.
Yeah, I was going to say dinner.
we got McDonald's.
Got McDonald's, and then we head over to the event, into the venue, get our spot on the floor. Not super crowded at this point at all.
Yeah, I think it was like 5:45 because I remember saying like we have 45 minutes.
You did say that, yep. Yeah. I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go get a beer then while we wait. Come back, and then right about 6, the lights go out and you start seeing Vended come out.
The lights hadn't went down yet, but you did see people come out on to, or like the band come out onto the stage and like kind of get behind their amps, which is how they end up coming out.
And then the lights went down and it's like 6 o'clock. And it's like, what the fuck?
And then their intro starts.
Right.
Like that always does. So
and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
This is half an hour early. It didn't bother us because we were there.
Right.
But it would have bothered me if we showed up at 6:15, 15 minutes before the listed start time.
I would be so pissed.
I don't know. This is the second night in a row where show times are just all over the fucking place.
I'd be really, and even Vended was playing their last song and people came right beside me and they were talking like, oh, you know, like, oh no, Vended had already gotten off. They were tearing down already. And they were basically like, oh, they're setting up Mice and Men. Like, they must have started early.
Yeah.
And it's like, I too would be super, super pissed. I mean, this is the 5th time we've seen Vended this year, but I would have been super, super pissed if I would have showed up before the start time and the band's over.
Right, exactly.
So
again, it didn't affect us, but it was a bit of annoyance. Like, what the fuck happened? I don't know if there was a scheduling conflict with Vended and they had to bounce early or they were told to start earlier or what, but I don't know what happened. There must have been miscommunication or something, but it started early. And even there's a long ass break between Vended and of Mice.
Well, that's
and
what I was going to say is it was then 35 minutes between, because Vended got done at 6:25 and a Mice and Men went on at 7 o'clock.
Right. Yeah.
And they were done setting up the stage too.
Yeah. Super
like,
quick.
It was like a 10 minutes turnaround.
So I don't know what the fuck happened there.
Yeah.
It was weird and a little off. But again, as I said, didn't affect us because we were there. For the fans who did miss it, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, that really sucks. But Vended themselves put on a great show, as always.
Yeah.
Super fucking awesome.
Yeah. I wish they would have played longer since there was so long between of Mice and Men.
Definitely. I did spend a lot more time noticing their sort of stage setup this time around. Because they are a younger band and, you know, started coming up and whatnot. And I was thinking about this, like, what do you do for like props and effects and whatnot as a young band when you don't necessarily have the capital or the money to, I guess that's the same thing, capital and money are the same thing, but you don't have the money to buy effects and do shit, you know. And theirs are pretty simple. They have chain link fence for like their backdrops with their V on it.
Okay.
It's got to be super cheap, but it adds texture and character and something unique to your set. And then even Griffin coming out with sort of, I don't know if he had face paint on, but he had definitely like ink on his top of his head.
Yeah.
And
well, he shaved his head.
He did shave his head now, yeah. But as the show goes on, drinks some water, pours water in his head, then that ink starts to run down your face, run over your hands and everything. This is super cheap, super simple effect that adds to the performance, like adds to like the visual effects of the performance. That I don't know, that I thought that was really cool to see, and I never like looked at a performance like that, I guess, in terms of what can you do, especially as a smaller band, do to enhance your live performance with effects on the cheap and whatnot.
Right. But then also their background, whatever, like or the drum sets in between, but like they have amps that have a V on it.
Those are the amps I was talking about. Yeah.
That's chain link
with the
on
chain
it.
link,
I thought you meant on the background. I was like, I didn't see that.
No. Yeah.
So something I didn't know until talking with our friends who are in Thrash the Titans. I don't even know when this all came up, but they like Eric from Thrash the Titans was talking to another band about their amps, and they might have the same as Vended. I'm not saying Vended's the same way, but like say that there is 7 amps. Maybe only like 2 of them are useful, and the other ones are just props.
So that could very well be true, because if at the end of the night when we get to Bullet For My Valentine, I don't know if you noticed this, but the drum kit was here, or the drum kit was where it was. Just below the drum kit, basically a straight line across was amps.
Yeah.
And I doubt all of those, if any, were being used.
They're probably not used.
It's a cool little look and effect for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyways, I didn't realize that that's where you were talking, that the chain link was on.
Yeah. I think it was just sort of like a cover in front of the amps or something like
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look next time we see them because I'm sure we're going to see them again.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
But, well, yeah, I hope so too, but I just didn't notice that.
Shit. We didn't even get in their set list.
No, we haven't talked about their set list.
Shit.
We're just talking about them.
Shit. Let's get in their set list.
Oh, we talked about them for 5 times this year. So,
yeah.
But anyways, they played Dead to Me, Am I the Only One, Overall, The Far Side, and they ended with Asylum.
Yeah. Super short, 5 tracks. I think we've heard all of these tracks across the times we've seen them. The Far Side's not on our set list.
It wasn't?
Because it's not out yet. It's not on Spotify.
Okay.
And that's the one I think where Griffin's like, this is a brand new song. I hope you're ready for it. That's the one thing I will say about Vended. They don't have a whole lot of music out right now, which is not disappointing, just it's good. I want more music. So I'm hoping, for a full-length album. I think all they have is EPs right now.
When did they start? 2021?
That's the first time we saw them, or didn't see them. We were in line while they played at Line Fest. So thereabouts. I'm sure they were a band a little bit before, probably 2018, 2016-ish.
You think so?
Probably. Starting off in garages like as a band and then slowly working their way up.
That's true.
But I am hoping for more music to come out, a full-length album, and then another tour. Maybe, I don't know, I could see them as a headliner. I would love to see them as a headliner.
Oh, I would too, yeah.
I just don't know if they have the catalog for it yet. But there's a lot of headliners that just have one album, like Bloodywood.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, you got to think Bloodywood, who they did 2 tours in the U.S. They've done multiple in Europe as well with one album. I mean, as headliners, granted they played the first and last song with the same song, but I mean that's a good way to get out there and have a headlining set.
And you're playing smaller shows.
Yeah,
but those are fun. The smaller shows are so much fun, and I would love to see Vended, let's say in Beat Kitchen or in Reggie's at this small show as a headliner. That'd be super fucking awesome, I think.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, I think it'd be kind of weird to see them back at like Beat Kitchen or Reggie's after playing the venues that they've played. Yeah,
but the only argument I can make there is they did that not as openers, not as headliners, but as openers for larger bands.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only thing I can see is like maybe somebody could make the argument they can't draw on those kind of crowds to fill up.
Well, I don't think they could for a lot of the venues, but I don't think that they would go down to Beat Kitchen, which is a 100-person venue either.
I guess more of I want to see them in a small venue. Okay. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And you're right. They started in 2017.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. I was just guessing there. Any case, we've seen them a lot. We've talked about Vended a lot. I love them so much. I want more. I want more music. I want more live shows. More or less the same live show we've seen, but a lot of fun.
I think that's how I feel this time. Is it was kind of like it was a Vended show. Like, I mean, I said the same thing about 3 Days Grace when we saw them again this year, which is 5 times in like the last 18 months probably. This is 5 times this year that we've seen them, and it's like it's a Vended show. I really like it. I do. It's just I don't have anything extra to add to it. So.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Next year maybe. I mean, year. We'll Hopefully. We'll see what they spend the winter doing. So.
The one other thing I think we talked about, or I mentioned to you, you didn't pick up on it or you didn't hear it. I thought the last 2 songs Griffin came out and was like, "Thank you, Detroit. This was awesome as always." I swear to God, I heard him say, "Thank you, Detroit."
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but you even said somebody behind you made a comment about it.
I thought so, but maybe I could have been mishearing something. I did look at their tour dates, and they're not in Detroit after. They're not in Detroit before. It could be a joke between them. I like to think. You can go out there and say the wrong city, they're going to cheer no matter what.
Maybe.
Type thing.
Maybe.
And then maybe this was like the test, like the Super Troopers. Like, how many times can you say meow?
Oh.
In this, like, that type of thing.
Well, you say it too, where you're like saying the city or.
It's a free applause.
Yeah, it's just a free applause. Or like, how you all doing? Like, it's just a free.
You see it in jokes and all the time in like comedies where it's like the guitar player will pull up their guitar and it has like the city name taped on the back so they could remember where they're at. And I'm sure as a band, when you're just bouncing, like you perform, you get in a bus, You wake up, you perform, you get in a bus. You wake up, you perform, you get in a bus. You just do that over and over. It can be hard, I assume. I've never done it, to remember or know where the fuck you're at. It's like, I fucking woke up somewhere different. Sorry.
Yeah.
It looks the same to me. It's a venue. It's a backstage of the venue. There's a McDonald's down the road. It's the same goddamn thing.
Right.
Anywho, Vended, super fucking awesome. If you can, check them out. It's well fucking worth it.
Yes.
Ooh, we can go back to Des Moines and see them.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Fucking, they play Valor. That'd be so fucking awesome.
If they play, I mean, I'm sure they do play in Des Moines, but if we can make a show, we will go and see them.
I haven't seen a show in Valor forever.
I know.
And they've redone it.
They remodeled it, yeah. I don't know if it's open yet, though.
That'd be a fucking awesome show. Anywho, next on the list.
Of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men.
Yep.
What do we have for a set list for them? We're going to do this up front instead of
talking about the band
end.
and then say what they played. So they started with Bones Exposed, Would You Still Be There, Castaway, Obsolete, OG Loco, Into the Sun, Warpaint, Bloom, and they ended with Second Sebring.
And technically, this was our second time seeing them.
Yeah, technically.
Even though I don't fucking remember the first time.
I don't either. They played Open Air 2016.
I think so, yeah.
And they were on the main stage as we were walking into the venue after your whole debacle of getting back from New York.
And they were definitely a band I wanted to see really bad back then because I thought they were a different band.
What band did you think they were? Do you remember?
So back in that time frame, I had gotten away from metal music. I was into more alternative, indie sort of shit, right? And I think the band I thought they were, thanks for dyslexia, was Of Monsters and Men.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I thought, and I was like, that's a really fucking weird band to have at open air with Slipknot, Disturbed, and Rammstein as your headliners.
Yeah. I remember you wanted to see them, and as we were walking up, you were like, this does not sound like them.
I was like, this is not that band.
Yeah. Because like at open air, it's at Toyota. Well, it was Toyota Park. Now it's Bridgeview. No.
SeatGeek Stadium.
SeatGeek, yeah. But basically it's in a stadium or in a soccer stadium. So you kind of walk up the stairs and then into the bowl and down.
For the main stage.
Yeah, for the main stage. So when we were walking up those stairs, not the first time, but it was the first time for us walking up those stairs, and you could hear them, and you were like, "This does not sound like them." But I don't think after you realized it wasn't the band you wanted to see, we didn't stick around to see them. We ended up going to the second stage.
We went to the second stage because I think it was Baby Metal.
And
I wanted to see them, and also there was beer out there, and I had a shitty fucking couple days and wanted some beer.
Yeah,
I don't really remember much of that, honestly, in terms of the sound.
Oh, me neither.
I remember thinking it was super fucking heavy when we heard it back then. But when they started playing here, I didn't get super fucking heavy vibes. I got heavy vibes for sure, but I got more metalcore.
Oh, it's definitely metalcore, yeah.
Vibes.
Yeah.
I thought they were fucking heavier.
Oh, really?
Like in my mind going in, I was like, they're going to be a heavy fucking band. That's going to be nice. And they were heavy, but it was metalcore heavy.
Yeah, it was definitely metalcore.
I'm not a fan of metalcore. I like it. It's fine. I'll listen to it. You're a big fan of metalcore. I don't like it. I can tolerate and I enjoy Wage War, which is a weird thing to say. I can tolerate them, but I also enjoy it. It's weird, right? I do enjoy Wage War in small doses. You fucking love Wage War. It's like one of your favorite bands now, right?
Yeah.
But
I have a lot of favorite bands now, but but yeah, if Wage War comes around, we'll be going to that show.
And the show we saw at Concord earlier this year with them was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Because
the crowd was so fucking into it. They were great. It was an amazing show. Wage War is sort of like my favorite metalcore band. Again, not something I'm going to seek out, but when it comes on, I'll listen to it and I'm fine with it. When you play it, I'm perfectly fine with it. Other metalcore bands out there, not really. There's some I really, really fucking hate, and there's some that are just like, it's fine. Wage War is above the it's fine. What I'm trying to say, I guess,
where are you getting to?
Because I'm rambling, is Of Mice and Men for me is at the same level, if not better,
than Wage War? That's good to hear.
I really fucking liked it. The crowd was fucking outstanding. So fucking good. So into it. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I only know one song of Mice and Men, and that's Obsolete. That's on a playlist that I listen to, but I will be listening to them, like their complete catalog. It'll be like a wage war for me, probably.
You've just discovered them. It's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd heard Obsolete, but like, I liked everything I heard. And I even thought about it. I was like, and this goes back to what we just talked about in the last episode about if we listen to a band, we don't really seek out band, or we don't listen to bands before we see them in concert. We let the live experience be what we experience, or like what we think. But this night, I think if I would have listened to them way before and like got into their songs and stuff, not that I would be in the middle of the pit, but I would definitely be one of those people like at Wage War where we're in the crowd and moving and stuff. And we were on the outside of the pit this time, but like we weren't really like jumping around and like singing and stuff like that. Like even thinking, or was the girl behind us for Bullet for Our Valentine? It was Bullet for My Valentine. But anyways, like I was just thinking like how she got into the pit for her song. No, that wasn't for Mice and Men, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up too, because there was a pit. So the floor we're in, this particular venue, it's a staggered floor,
Yeah.
a layered floor where you have the stage, their floor, and then after like 20 feet between the stage and the floor, there's a step up to another 20-foot depth section of floor, and then another step up. That way, like, it's almost stadium seating where if you want to go back, you can still see above the heads of other people. That first area that we were in was so densely packed with people, and the pit would open, and it didn't really open.
No, there was nowhere for them to go.
Right. It was just people pushing like it opened a little bit, but there wasn't room to run. It was like, fucking let's go and move, and it was a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, that's why I was like comparing it to when we saw Wage War at Concord, because that floor, like basically the whole floor was the pit, and like you're just moving around.
You
wherever.
have no control what you're doing. You're going with the crowd. And there was at the very end, there was this little blonde girl who just, oh my god, this is gonna be my song. It's gonna be my song. And
she took her jacket off and everything.
And she went into it, and she stood next to this giant fucking dude with a mohawk. And she's like talking to him like, this is it. I'm ready to go. And she got in the fucking pit and just like had a blast. And I think that's what you're going to get to. Like if you had known the music, that could have been you.
Yeah, we would have been in the middle of the crowd. Yeah. I mean, we were in the middle of the crowd, but we did stand back. And I think it would be a whole totally different if you know where the drops are. And that's where I was coming from, like with the last episode that we recorded, was like if you know the drops, if you know the callbacks and all that stuff, or callbacks.
There's like the call and repeat, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. But like where you know the lyrics or like what's happening, and I don't know, it just gives it a whole different experience. So I think I might next year seek out more listening to music ahead of the concert to know what it is, and just try that out for a little bit. Yeah,
definitely, because we did talk about that in the last episode of you kind of like, we're on the fence of do we like going in blind or do we like knowing, because I agree. There are parts where you're like, fuck, I wish I would have known what the call and repeat was. I wish I would have known the lyrics to say along with the crowd.
Yeah. It just gives it a whole different experience.
Definitely.
Like
definitely.
Thinking Wage War, like you don't really, well, maybe you do now because you listen to it more, but like you don't really know the lyrics and like the parts of the song where it's like the whole crowd singing and everything like that, where, you know, they had that at Of Mice and Men and Bullet for My Valentine and everything. And it's like, I mean, Bullet for My Valentine, some of them, I know the songs.
Yeah.
The older ones. And it's just like, those moments just make the concert even more fun.
Definitely 100% agree. But I also like going in blind. That's where
it's hard. It's hard.
I like going in blind because I want the live experience to be my first impression of a band, because I like that better than just listening to music. I love listening to music. I do it all the fucking time, all day, every day, right? But the live experience, the crowd vibe, how they're interacting, and the energy that's being fed to the band and back to us, I love that.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I'm not partaking in that energy,
exactly,
right? I'm just
exactly.
sort of like consuming, and then people are like, why the fuck's this guy even here?
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. And even Going back to last week's episode again, sorry, we keep going back, but for Motionless in White, like I listened to a few of their songs and I did not like it. And I think that's where I go back to where I'm like, I want the live experience to be my first experience. So it's very hard. It's very, very hard.
That's a good point too.
Yeah. Because like, what if I would have listened to, I don't know, Castaway or something. And I was like, I mean, this is not true, but like if I would have listened to that on Spotify and been like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And then go in and be like, I just want this 45 minutes to be over.
It goes both ways. You can easily listen to stuff on like Spotify or just an album or whatnot, right? However you listen to music, not live music, and just be like, I don't like this song. I don't like that little bit. I don't like this vocals. I don't like it. But then you go and see it live, and it's like the crowd energy brings you into it. And it's like,
yeah, it changes the experience.
Fuck, that was actually better than I thought.
Yeah,
not because you like the music now, but because that experience you liked better.
Yeah. So I don't know. This whole weekend. So we saw back to back. We saw Motionless in White and that tour, and then the Bullet For My Valentine and that tour. Back to back nights in Chicago, and it was like both nights. I knew a couple songs from a couple bands, but otherwise I didn't know anything. And I wish that I would know it because I think the whole experience would have been even better.
I don't know. It's tough to say. All in all, you mentioned it. There's call and repeats. The crowd was fucking into it. The pit was, while not massive, lively and active.
It was lively. Yes, the floor was lively.
It was awesome. I enjoyed everything, and I picked up easily on the metalcore aspect, and I wasn't turned off as I am with other bands.
That's good.
This is a metalcore band I could definitely be into, like Wage War. There's a handful out there, actually a lot out there, where I'm like, fuck metalcore, this is stupid.
And we've seen a lot of metalcore this year.
We have.
I mean, not like, it's just what is touring around us. So
we have, and it's not making me the happiest. But this was fucking phenomenal. I had a blast. Me
too. Let's talk about Bullet For My Valentine.
Do you want to read off the set list
for us?
Do
we do the set list first?
Yeah, let's do the set list first. We've done it once tonight in the middle and once at the beginning. I think the beginning works better, so let's do it in the beginning.
Let's read 5 of them and then talk about the band and then come back. No, I'm joking. Okay, so they started with Knives, Over It, Your Betrayal, Piece of Me, 4 Words to Choke Upon, The Last Fight, All These Things I Hate Revolve Around Me, Shatter, Scream, Aim, Fire, You Want a Battle, Here's a War, Rainbow Veins, Don't Need You, Tears Don't Fall, Suffocating Under Words of Sorrow, What Can I Do? And they ended with Waking the Demon. But wait, they didn't end with Waking the Demon. They came back out for Hearts Burst Into Fire.
All right, so real quick, Hearts Burning of Fire, or Hearts Burst into Fire. We're getting this from Setlist FM.
Yes.
Setlist FM lets you throw like a little thing at the bottom, explanation.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's this song was a guest singer of XYZ came out from a different band, or
a cover.
This is a cover. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
For Hearts Burst Into Fire, the little extra note for it is, as it is right now on Setlist FM, because this is crowdsourced, the comment is, the crowd chanted one more song, and they played this as a result.
Yeah, so,
I fucking love that. That is the greatest definition of encore right there.
Okay, so I do truly believe, because it was like 9:30ish, and they like left and then came back for Tears Don't Fall, Suffocating Under My Words of Sorrow, and Waking the Demon. And we don't talk during concerts, but I text you like, is this the encore? Like, I think that was supposed to be the encore. If you look at other set lists, that song's not on there.
Oh, really?
Really.
Okay.
And even so, after the concert, you stopped by the restroom. I went outside, and I heard a couple that was like leaving saying that song was not on any set list.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know if it's not on any set list or what it is, but they even said like, we didn't rehearse this, but we're going to play this. And I saw the band members whispering to each other, like as they came back out.
Interesting.
Or like
okay.
they all kind of like talk to each other. So I mean, from what it looks like and from everything, I honestly think that this was an extra song played for Chicago.
Fun. Okay.
So that makes it even better.
I mean, again, the crowd all night long
Yeah.
was fucking insanely into everything,
Yes.
and it was fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
And the night before, Motionless in White, again, crowd start to finish, fucking phenomenal. So maybe, and that's fucking awesome. Then the band's like,
It would be. Yeah.
you guys fucking killed it. Here's a little treat. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't look at the set list before going in. So I didn't know that, but a lot of people do look at the set list. So, you know, I think especially the fans of Bullet For My Valentine would know if they played this or not at other concerts. So.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah.
Because I remember you messaged me like, is this the encore? And I was like, because there was a bit where there was a long pause.
Yeah.
Where it just went black. The band went off stage.
And people scream bullet, 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 bullet.
It did.
Yeah.
But no more like one more song. I just assumed it was bands do that typically anyway.
Yeah.
They'll go off stage, like tune guitars or take a little break. Sometimes there's a video. Sometimes there's like a bass solo or a drum solo or something. Or sometimes it's just silence. So I was like, I don't think that's the encore. They would have said like, hey, this is our last song for the night. Thank you. See ya. Peace. And then they'll play that last song, go off, and then it's like one more song, and then all right, here's your encore that you know you're gonna get.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of bands and people know like, hey, we're gonna do this little fake break and then come back out and play the rest of our set list that we already have planned.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting, and I haven't looked at social media or anything, but I wonder if people, I don't know. I don't do Reddit, but like I don't know if on Reddit if they mention anything or.
I mean, I'm not on their like subreddit, so I don't.
Yeah,
know.
yeah, or like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anybody said anything on social media, but anyways, that's my thought on that song.
I wanted to bring up that last comment, and I was like, they asked for one more song, and they did this in return.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's the encore. That's what you meant to put.
Yeah.
But like, I thought that was hilarious, and I saw it.
I like that too.
But yeah, it just made me smile, and I wanted to bring that up. Instead of doing an encore, we're like, the crowd did this. The band did this.
Yeah. 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 So we mentioned for Vended and for Of Mice and Men, we are down in I'm going to call it the pit area, but the first level.
The first level, yeah.
Like right in front of the stage. But before the concert even started, we kind of walked upstairs and what are they called? Like not matron.
The matron. Who are you talking about? What person, I guess, are you looking at?
The lady that basically said like the hostess? The security? When we walked upstairs and like asked for our tickets.
Aren't
they called like matrons or something?
No, they're not called matrons. They're called.
I'm not saying a madam.
They're called something different. I want to say valet, but you're not valeting people to their seats. Usher. They're called ushers. Ushers. They're called ushers.
Not matrons.
Not matrons. Not valets. Ushers.
The usher said that basically the first little part of the balcony is reserved, and then everything above that, which is a very, very large section, is GA. And Vic is also the same way, where like there's a part that is reserved, and then the rest of the balcony is GA. And at the Vic, you can see very, very well, and you can see the crowd. You can see everything basically from the GA portion. So for some bands, we've sat up there. So it must have been during Over It, because Your Betrayal, we were upstairs already. But we started down there, and then or did we go up for the whole thing?
So we went up for the whole thing.
Okay.
As you mentioned, you're allowed to be up there tonight because they had a GA section.
Yeah.
Last time we were there for Corey Taylor, we asked if we can go up there. Like, no, you have to have a ticket to go up there. This time they allowed for GA to be up there, so we went up just to check it out. I kind of vaguely remember going up there for Amon Amarth for just
you said that. I don't remember.
Bit. I remember it's really weird because once you get up to that landing, there's like this open window type thing that looks down onto the final floor of the main floor.
Back, yeah.
Which is the sound stage, and you can't see shit. You can't see the stage at all. But then you go through these doors and you get to the balcony area that you're talking about. But it was even before all
before
the
they
set
even
list.
started.
You're like,
Okay.
we should go up there and just check it out to see what
Yeah.
it's like from a viewing
Yeah.
a show up there.
Yeah.
We did leave after your betrayal
Okay, to go back down.
to go down for a little bit because the lights, we'll get into this, but the lights were fucking garbage.
Well, what I was meaning is like we decided to go upstairs to check it out because we hadn't seen
A show from there.
And just to see what it was like. Also for the podcast to talk about it, to just
Something
have a
different.
to have something different. And I really, 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 really regret that we left.
I do too.
Because as we talked about with the Mice and Men, the first section of the floor was very, very packed,
Dense,
dense. Yeah. So I knew if we left, we weren't getting back basically. So it was a conscious decision. We could have gotten back.
Because we're not the people. We don't like fighting.
We don't push through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, we'll find a spot and stand in our spot.
Yeah.
And people want to push past us, go ahead.
Yeah. But we're not people who push through the crowd to get back. And especially if we choose to leave our spot, we're not like, well, I was standing there, my friends are there, so I have to go back. Anyways.
I had rail, and why can't I have rail again?
I was already there once.
Right.
No, anyways. So that was just a choice that we made, and I truly regret it. And like you said, we did go back down for a few songs, and we started at the second area. We'll talk about the lights here in just a second.
Yeah.
But we started at the second level up. But that area sucks so much. And I remember that when we saw Arch Enemy and Arma Marth, that I could only see the ship of Arma Marth. Like I couldn't see anything.
See, I remember seeing a lot more for that show. But this time, I don't know if it was just larger, taller individuals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really couldn't see the stage that well either. From
I could see
where we
the
were.
drummer.
I could see the drummer too.
And I was like, I don't like this.
And so we like, fuck it, let's just go back up.
Yeah.
On the way up, though, we went up the first staircase as we always do. And I didn't notice it until this time, but there was another staircase.
Oh, I noticed it before. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. So I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it, let's go up this staircase.
There's 3 staircases, so you can go all the way up.
And then it kept going and going and going. I was like, fuck it, there's nobody here telling me I can't go up this path, so I'm going to go up this path. We ended up getting up to like the last row of the balcony seating, which whatever. To me, it was more of like,
I'm going to do it.
there's nobody saying I can't do it, so let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was, but that's who I am. I like just exploring and whatnot.
Yeah.
Anywho.
But anyways, being up in the balcony, I personally wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, really?
Well, from a viewing perspective, like for me, even when I was standing up or sitting down, like part of the stage was cut off. So I didn't like that, but it could just be my height.
Yeah, so you mentioned that last night, I think, when we were talking about this, because I didn't have that.
You didn't have that
at
problem.
all.
Okay.
The only thing I can think of is, when there's a stage, they usually have like amps or something on the front that they'll come up with their foot on and play.
Yeah.
That was cut off. I could not see that. So I couldn't see any of the crowd. But the rest of the stage I could see perfectly fine.
Okay. It must just be where like my head cuts off and
yeah.
So cool, whatever. But and then also we can go into it. They had the fucking backing lights.
So yeah, the lights for this, I was thinking about this, are essentially the exact same lighting effect and setup, I think, that Sepultura had at the Vic.
Do you think it's like part of the venue?
I don't know if it's the venue or if there's just like a few lighting companies and it's like, you know what?
I have an awesome...
Sepultura did this. They loved it. You guys would love it.
Or just like kind of like a contract out thing, like this is our display.
Right. But essentially it is, like we said earlier, there's the wall of amps, just a straight across amp. Then you have your drum kit on top of those on like a little riser and whatnot. Behind the drum kit, you have these stripped LEDs, like just a straight line of single light LEDs. And just below the amps, you have the same thing. And they're cut into sections, probably 4-foot sections or something, that are on motors that go up and down. Like they tilt like 90 degrees up and down. And you can, like one 4-foot section goes up like this. The other one goes, 45 degrees, one goes 80 degrees, one goes 30 degrees. So you have this like wave sort of like
Yeah.
motion. Same with the drummer. On either side of the drum kit, there's those same sort of strips, a couple of those. But then also they have these like straight up poles that have like the box LEDs that shoot straight out, and then they also rotate up and down. All of this is lighting behind the band. I have been to several fucking shows. We have been to several fucking shows where there is lighting behind the band into the crowd. I personally fucking hate this so much. It ruins the show for me, because then it's just blaring light into my eyes. Like, not always, but enough of the show to just be like, fuck, I can't see what's going on. I can't see the band. I'm here to listen to the music, but see the band. If all I want to do is listen to music, I'd listen to your fucking album on Spotify and give you no goddamn money. But I'm here to see you. I'm here to hear you. And to me, it ruins it when it's those backing lights. And with that elevated up and down sort of approach, in the balcony, it was going like right in our fucking eyes. And I was blinded for a good chunk of the show. I don't know if you were too.
Yeah, I mean, it was annoying at first, but then I just kind of started to ignore it. But I don't like the lights either. But I didn't let it ruin my night.
I mean, I didn't let it ruin my night either. I just
okay. I felt like you were.
No, there were times where I would close my eyes and put my head
Yeah.
down because I was like, I can't see anyway, and I'd rather not get a migraine and ruin my night even further. I was fine with it. I do think the lighting is super fucking awesome, especially when it was pointed down at the front of the stage. And so you'd have the lights point straight to the front of the stage. You'd have your band members, your band play, and it did provide a really cool effect. Or if you had the lights go up above where the balcony was, like that way you're not blinding anyone in the balcony, it did offer a really cool effect, especially with like the backs. I could see the wave aspect of it being really cool if you're in the main floor. But once you start fucking with the people in the balcony, then it's like, this isn't fun.
I don't know. We weren't down there for the pit for those lights, but I do. Gosh, I can't even remember what concert it was, but we were on a pit, like on the edge of a pit, and I didn't like the flashy lights.
Oh, like the strobe lights?
The strobe lights, because it kind of, like, when I'm on the edge of a pit, I don't really watch the band. I like to watch the people because I don't want to be like knocked into and like lose my balance. So I try to keep
Mice and Men, this show, the same way. There were times during Mice and Men where it was the very strobe lights, and it was.
Oh, I guess I didn't really feel
you
that
didn't
here.
notice that?
No,
Okay.
not maybe, but I didn't get that effect, I guess.
Okay, it's a different show you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like where the lights are. I think it was at the rave. I just can't think of what show it was, but where the lights are strobing and like the pit is going back and forth, and it's like you can't really tell where people are, and then it ends up making me almost feel sick.
Oh, really?
Because I'm like trying to focus on the people and the lights, and I don't know. I just don't like that. But
right, because it's like there's a person here, the lights on, then the lights go off, and you're ready to like catch them, and then the lights turn back on. Like, where the fuck did they go?
Yeah, well I'm not like that, but it just, when I'm trying to focus on people, it makes me sick. It's like motion, but like lights are on and off and stuff. So anyways.
I don't know what show that was, but I definitely got that feeling of Mice and Men
okay.
times.
I did it at Mice and Men. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I didn't have a problem there,
But yeah, lighting aside, like that was probably the only thing I would say was a negative for this show, for sure. Yeah. I do wish we would have stayed, but I do also like the idea of going up there and checking it out from the balcony perspective. You mentioned this is very similar to the rave, or not the rave, the Vic, and I definitely got that vibe too. It's an old school theater. This is a little cleaner than the Vic is for sure, but the floor set up in terms of like that staggeredness and the balcony aspect. The other thing, much larger than the Vic. I feel like
much larger.
At least 1,000 plus capacity.
Oh yeah, the Vic can hold like 1,400 people.
And what do you think this holds?
Probably 2,000.
Okay, so 600 or so. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I like both of those theaters. These are two of my favorite theaters. They're also owned by the same company, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because shows will bounce back and forth.
Or they have the same promoters, at least.
Yeah. But getting back to the music, I was shocked that Your Betrayal is so far up.
I had the same thought when they played it already. I was like, oh, I figured this would be like one of the last
It's the
songs.
third song,
Yeah.
and it's like they just go straight into it. Like,
Yeah.
no intro, no nothing. It was song, song, song. Like, no crowd interaction, no nothing at this point. And they go straight into Your Betrayal. And it's just like that intro, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, are you fucking shitting me already?
Yeah.
How is this not your closer?
Yeah.
Again, though, I don't know Bullet for My Valentine that well.
Right.
I know Your Betrayal, You Want a Battle, Here's a War, and
Tears Don't Fall.
not even that one.
Oh, you don't know that one? Oh, I do.
I think there's one more that they may not have played. Yeah, I'll have to look at my old. So this is how far back I go with them. I have a playlist with like 5 or 6 of their songs on Pandora
Oh.
that I haven't used in like 10 fucking years.
Yeah. Or more. Yeah.
Or more. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously less than, but it's I think 2016, which is less than 10
Oh,
years.
is that when we listened to Pandora?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
I
anyway,
guess I was thinking when we were in Iowa.
a long ass fucking time. So, based on Your Betrayal and You Want a Battle, I was sold. Like, I want to go check out this band. And seeing Your Betrayal so far up on the set list was like, holy fuck. All right, let's check it out.
What's that mean? I don't understand what you just said there.
What do you mean?
All right, let's check it out.
Like,
We're at the concert already. I just don't understand what that means.
Sorry. Like, all right, like, this is what it is. Let's see what else we're gonna get. Like,
Oh, okay.
all right, like,
That's not what I took that as. I
all
was
right,
like, what do you
then
mean?
show me what else you got.
Okay.
Like, if this
Okay.
is, to me, this is a closing song. If you as the band are like, this is at the top of the set list,
Okay.
fine. Show me then. Show me what else you got then.
Okay. I got it.
I guess that's what
I got what
going
you're. No, I got what you're saying now. Thank you for explaining. It did not make sense in my mind.
No, all good. The other shocker to me is Scream, Aim, Fire, followed by You Want a Battle. The only reason it's shocking me, I know You Want a Battle. I don't know Scream, Aim, Fire. I don't know their live setup and how their songs go. But the second Scream, Aim, Fire got over, You Want a Battle has a little intro where it's just people singing. Dead silence. The entire fucking crowd starts singing that intro.
Yeah.
And the band comes out and just fucking rips and goes into it. And I was like, how the fuck did the crowd know?
Yeah. They must play these back to back.
It's got to be. Every time we play Scream, Aim, Fire, the very next song is You Want a Battle.
Yeah.
I think they're on 2 separate albums, too, when I added them to the playlist. I don't
really?
think they're on the same
Okay.
album. So it's got to be a thing that, like, fans who have been to many shows or just even fans who know and follow this kind of shit closer than we do are like, this is what it's going to be. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had so much fucking fun. You had a few things you looked up on the band that you wanted to bring up, right?
Oh, right. So, gosh, I didn't look up what their name used to be, but I don't even know what I was looking up the band for, but it was last night, later in the night, and they started as a cover band for Metallica called like Jeff Beats James or something. I don't know.
That's you
Or
told me.
Jeff Killed James or something.
You said the name last night, and that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But the shocker to me was
The
it
cover
started
band?
as a cover band
Yeah.
for Metallica.
Yeah, in 1998.
Right.
Which seems so. I mean, I was 10 years old in 1998, so that just seems so crazy. But I mean, I guess Slipknot started around that time too, right? Or 90.
I mean, that was their first debut, so they were probably 95, 94. I can't remember exactly
something
when
like that.
Feed Kill Repeat was.
Yeah. But anyways, so when I read that they were a cover band for Metallica, I was like, that is fucking awesome to, start like that and then grow into what they are today. But also I don't even know what songs they were, but like I can hear a couple like Metallica riffs and stuff like that. Like, so it's not copying. I don't want to say it's copying them, but it's like taking what you started with or your mentor, like, things that you liked and incorporate them into what you do today.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, there were moments where I could pick up Metallica riffs too. And it made me think about, I think I've said this before, that all musicians, I assume, start out as cover musicians. You find a band you like and you learn how to play that song that you like, type thing, right? Like that's how you start. You don't just pick up a guitar and be like, I'm going to play a riff. Like you learn, typically, I assume, because I don't know how to play guitar, that you pick up and like, I like Disturbed. I'm going to play, I was going to say Sound of Silence, but that's Simon and Garfunkel. But they covered it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're saying.
So, and same thing with Vended. We said this during the first Vended podcast we did, Bloodywood with Vended,
yeah.
where it's like, you mentioned, I think at that time, like, they're little Slipknot. Basically, they sound a lot like Slipknot. They have a lot of Slipknot influences for obvious reasons, but there's nothing wrong with that. Embrace what your influence was and grow from it.
Yeah.
And they clearly have. Like Metallica, as you said, their riffs are there and it's present in their music, but they've evolved past that.
Yeah.
But still influence them, so you can't change that. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
I think you said it well.
Awesome. I have one other thing to talk about, but we can save that to the end unless you have something else you want to say.
Oh.
Walking the Demon. They brought a couple of young children on the stage.
Yeah.
And
from the meet and greet, I guess.
Yeah, from the meet and greet. I did see these young children when we were down on that first level.
Yeah, me too.
On their parents' shoulders, enjoying the show, having a good time. And then there was a part where they come out and they're like, hey, so there were a couple people who wanted to come on stage and sing this with us. Do you still want to do it? And like, yeah, all right, let's bring them on up. I was expecting like 20-something girls and whatnot. They bring up these two little children, 6-ish, no more than.
Yeah, maybe.
They look fucking tiny.
They were small.
And I think they were sisters.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's the narrative I'm having in my head right now. They have the normal young kid vibe where they have the massive ass headphones on their head. Over shirt, like their shirts are fucking massive.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the smallest size that they had. Or if their parents did what my parents always did, buy you 5 times the size that you need so that you can grow or have it forever, basically.
To be fair, these children are not going to forget this. They're going to want to wear this shirt forever. So
I would agree with you.
I'm more on that latter side you said of like, buy them the large shirt because they're going to wear this for the next 20 goddamn years.
Yeah, I would agree.
Bring these two little girls on stage and they start playing the song. Now, one little girl starts to like headbang a little bit and start walking around the stage and whatnot.
I do want to say, we don't know if these are boys or girls.
We don't. Children.
They had long hair.
They had long hair.
So
I assume they were
you're
girls.
assuming, yes.
These young children. One child starts walking around and having a lot more fun, banging her head a little bit. The other child, I'm assuming is the younger
sibling, yeah.
Starts to like look around and they felt like they were uncomfortable.
Yeah, I took that too.
And then they would follow the sibling around, like, don't leave me alone. I don't want to be left alone. But the other kid was having so much fun. But then there was one part when the drop hit and that child who was very sort of timid and like, I don't want to be alone, fucking starts headbanging the shit. And the headphones fall off. And then like, oh shit, pick up the headphones, put them on. And then like, it stopped. Like, all right, I can't do that because I'm going to lose my headphones. Follow my sibling around, follow my sibling around, follow my sibling around. And then the drum solo starts. And that same child just sits there with their hands like doing the drum.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most fucking adorable thing I have ever seen. I'm assuming the older sibling, like, how the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Yeah.
And the crowd fucking
that was
roared.
Really cool. Yeah.
I thought this was like the most adorable fucking thing I have ever seen. They weren't necessarily singing. They were on stage having fun, like just being on stage. I don't know. To me, this was a top moment of the year for me in terms of like, it was fucking adorable. It was awesome to see young children like being brought up to listen to metal and enjoy metal. Yeah. I don't know. To me, that was the moment of the night for me and possibly of the year. I don't know. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just had different thoughts on it. Obviously, it's going to be a memory that they're never, ever, ever going to forget. That is fucking amazing. It's amazing that parents are, raising their kids, letting them listen to whatever they want. That is fucking amazing. And even somebody in the band, I can't remember if it was the guitar player or the lead singer, but was like, hey, let's see what this next generation, or let's bring up the next generation.
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get all that stuff. Yes, it was kind of cute where the little sibling was like following the other one around, but that was so distracting to me. And I'm like, this little kid does not even want to be on the stage. I'm not saying that they didn't, but I kind of saw myself in them and like, oh my God, I would be so uncomfortable. And like, I felt like that's how that little kid was. And it was cool. Definitely not a highlight of the night for me. And you had mentioned a couple when we saw 3 Days Grace and Chevelle, like the whole bringing the crowd on the stage can either make it or break it for a song or for a performance or a song. And to me, it broke it. It was distracting. They could have done it so much better. And obviously it probably wasn't planned. It's not something they do during every show. So it's not like planned. It's not like, like the band members don't know what to do and like stuff like that. So it was just kind of like, these two kids are just on the stage. I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't want to sound like, oh, they shouldn't have done it, but it just wasn't the best.
Yeah, I guess the make it and break it aspect for sure is when you allow somebody to come up and sing, especially like Hugfest did this with Disturbed.
Yeah.
And you brought a guy up to sing Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, this could ruin the fucking show if this guy can't fucking sing. But he could. This was a little different because in my mind, this was a little different because they weren't singing. It was, we were just getting up there. And I get what you're saying. I felt uncomfortable for the younger sibling as well. We're calling him younger. We don't know, as you said. Because they were just sort of like, please don't leave me alone. I don't want to be up here by myself, uncomfortable. But the few parts of the song that they knew by heart.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
This is my jam. This is where I'm at.
Yeah. And I get everything that you're saying. I'm just saying.
No,
it wasn't the best experience for me. I was just shocked. That's why I was so silent before I even said my thoughts, because I'm like, my thoughts are not as positive as your thoughts.
No, that's fine. That's fine. They don't have to be, for sure. Like,
yeah,
it was distracting for you. I did spend the entire time watching the little kids and not the band. I agree. So if you're there to see the band, I could see why that would be distracting for sure. I could definitely see that.
I even saw how uncomfortable the band was. Like, the guitarist was like, I think their whole part of the song is move to this part of this stage, but they couldn't because the kids were standing there. So then they did like this little like tiptoe thing behind them.
There was that.
Maybe they were like doing that like cute or whatever, but I'm like, it's just distracting. I don't know. It's fine. Like, it's gonna be a memory that they're gonna have for the rest of their fucking life, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But
no, that's fine. That's fine. I get where you're coming from. I do, and I get where I'm coming from because obviously it's my opinion. So. In any case, though, all in all, a phenomenal night. Even though the lighting fucking sucked, please don't fucking do backlights into the crowd. That's bullshit. I hate that so much. Every time it's used, it sucks. I hate it. Stop fucking doing that. But live music in general is fucking awesome.
Yes.